excited about my next guest here on the FayWhat show. You know, aside from being a friend, this gentleman is just a powerhouse when it comes to LGBTQ plus, just our community, our fundraisers, our incredible organizations, and he's in bed with me today. So it is my pleasure to welcome to my bed, to FayWhat's bed, Kevin Clevenger.
The crowd goes wild.
You know that one day, Kevin, I'm going to have a whole audience here, and they're going to do that for me, and I won't have to do that.
Like Oprah?
God, do you think?
Yeah.
I could be the brown Oprah. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Like, how dope. Can I make you cry now?
She was brown, too.
Oh, okay. But I'm just saying, like, you know, brown as a Latina brown. Silly. Anyway, so Kevin Clevenger is the Flockfest Director of Development. You know, folks, if you go out to events that Flockfest throws, you probably have seen Kevin running around with like a chicken with his head cut off, doing this, doing that. What, in a nice way? You're always super busy.
I am.
You know, and that's a blessing.
Yeah.
Okay, so your title is Flockfest Director of Development. What exactly does that mean? Like, do you get to develop all the cool things that Flockfest does?
I get to come up with some of the new stuff. So, you know, like the splash pool parties, you know, like other events where we help out in the community. I do a lot of our social media, you know, I do a lot of graphic design as well. So, I do a little bit of everything. You know?
Yeah, you're a jack of all trades.
I am booked.
You a busy bitch. That's what I usually tell him when I send him a message. You a busy bitch.
Yes.
I love all that Flockfest does, and what I love is that you know, honestly help other organizations while having a great freaking time. You know, when I first met you, when I first started Flockfest beach events, let's do that. When I first started Flockfest beach party, that was all I had heard of. Was your beach party, right? And I expected to go there and see no women, no inclusivity, right? And I was completely wrong. And I'm so glad that I was wrong when about that, you know? It was so not true. Has that always been the case for Flockfest beach parties? I mean, how long have you been with Flockfest now? Let's start there.
So I volunteered with Flockfest for a couple of years now. And then back last year, I actually joined the team as the director of development. But I volunteered with them for a couple of years, you know, helping with the beach party, helping with their check-ins and stuff like that. And that was always my observation, that it seemed to be a kind of a man-only event. There wasn't a lot of people of color. And, you know, like when I came on, my goal was to bring in diversity and its representation through our entertainers and through our DJs and making sure that everyone feels welcome at our pool parties. And as you can see, Splash has been a great inclusion event for us.
Oh my God, yes. And I love the splash pool parties, folks. If you've never been to if you've heard of a dope ass LGBTQ plus pool party, it probably is a Flockfest pool party, okay? And the inclusivity is there. And like I said, you know, I'm a little ashamed that, like, again, my first thought of, okay, this Flockfest is just going to be a bunch of white dudes, right? It's not going to have any inclusivity. And maybe that's what people saw when they went in years past, right? But it wasn't what I experienced once you were a part of it, right?
Yes.
So my first Flockfest beach party was a couple of years ago. And then last year, I had the honor to host for you folks, you know, and couple thousand people on the beach having an incredible time, you know. It even rained and everybody still came back and partied for 3 more hours. That's the kind of pool party, beach party that you put together.
Yes.
Have you seen the evolution of this beach party since you've been a part of it?
Yeah, it's definitely, we've taken it to another level. You know, we made it more of a polished event. We've added in new furniture. We want to make sure that it looks like it's a proper event and it's something that our Fort Lauderdale Beach can be proud of.
Yeah,
You know, one of our sponsors is Visit Lauderdale, and, you know, we want to make sure that we promote this beautiful city, and we want to do it the right way. And when you look at all of our promotional videos, they always highlight the beauty of this town.
Yeah. And we, I had just had the pleasure of interviewing Richard Gray a couple of weeks back with Visit Lauderdale. And it's like, we're so freaking blessed, Kevin, to live where people vacation at, right?
Oh, yeah.
And something that I noticed with you and Flockfest, that you take full advantage of that, you know, where it's like you said, the backdrop of this incredible beach party is the beautiful ocean, the beautiful sky, the sand. You know, what what Fort Lauderdale has and South Florida has to give all the people who come and visit. The pool parties at the Easton, that place is amazing.
And it really highlights the beauty of Fort Lauderdale to overlook Holiday Park with the Panthers ice skating rink, the Parker, and you could see Wilton Manors, you could see downtown Fort Lauderdale, and just having that elevated experience to showcase the beauty, because we get so many people from out of town. Usually 30% of our attendees that come are from out of town.
Really?
We get them from the Tri-County areas. We get a lot from Orlando and Tampa. So we make sure that we market to them as well, and bringing in people to really showcase the beauty, because not only does it bring jobs to our city, it keeps our Uber drivers, our Lyft drivers, our restaurants, our bars. It keeps all of these people, going with much needed money.
Definitely, especially during COVID, nobody got hurt more than nonprofits and organizations, and to see everything kind of come back is such a wonderful feeling. You have fundraised for everybody, though. I mean, you were a part of Poverello for some time, right? Smart Ride. We've interviewed Glenn Weinzimmer here as well. Florida AIDS Walk, that is also coming up soon. You're still a part of that.
I do love
the Florida AIDS Walk too. And you folks know I don't wake up early, right? This is the only time I wake up early is for this show, right? This is why I look like this, right? But for AIDS Walk, I'm excited about it. You know, we always have a really good amount of people out there representing, and it's all for a good cause, AHF is amazing also. I mean, they're just incredible,
And one of the things about the Florida AIDS Walk was it was my first event at Poverello. And, at the time, we'd received a little bit of money, and then they kind of changed the format to where they did a dollar match. But, I was an HIV positive man. I was kind of ashamed of it because it was one of those things that was put in the background. You didn't talk about it. And the AIDS Walk was the first time that I actually felt acceptance. And to walk with people
love that.
Of the same, it's like, oh my God, we're actually saying that we're here, we're proud of ourselves, and, just to make a difference. And it was great.
Completely.
And I've won so many awards from them. The Celebrity Lip Sync Battle won the best fundraiser. I've had the largest group. I was the #1 fundraiser. I was the #2 fundraiser.
Tony Lima, Sunserve, watch your back. You see, Kevin Clevenger is right there.
I beat Tony a few times.
Escándalo! You heard it here first. Wow.
Yeah. But it was for the greater good. We all came together. All of the nonprofits participate together. That's one of the things with the Celebrity Lip Sync Battle is we met I met someone from Aqua yesterday, and it's an opportunity for all of these nonprofits to come together, express their message in a new format to people that might not be aware. So Aqua they're more Miami based. So this is an opportunity to perform at this lip sync battle to talk about why you're part of this event. So,
and also money goes back to the organizations as well. I thought the lip sync battle was just a way to see all our community leaders, try to lip sync, right?
Try.
You know what I mean? Because let's talk about the lip sync. Do you think it's fair that you're going to put somebody like me or Tony Lima up there on stage, and then you're going to have someone who does lip sync for a living? That's not fair.
Okay, I always make sure that the battles are equal. And he brought Vegas Dion one year to be part of his number. And so,
No, so then, he cheated too. All right, well, okay.
But how is it cheating when you're raising money?
No, it's not. Everybody wins. And I saw you speaking to the person from Aqua Foundation the other day, and that was just awesome to just hear how it all pans out, right? You go there, you help this organization. We all have a great time, right? You might learn some moves and you might learn a song, right?
And they took a trophy.
And they took a trophy.
The microphone trophy.
I got a microphone trophy.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. So, Kevin, when I met you, I didn't know that you were HIV positive. I didn't know that you were in sobriety. You know what I mean? We just kind of became friends. I think that you were working at Pride Fort Lauderdale then. And before that, you worked with other Prides, right? And you've traveled the whole freaking world.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. At Prides, right? You have been in marketing and branding for years also. That's a good, 2 decades maybe?
Since 1999.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. I look so young.
Okay, he uses olive oil. You would never know. How was corporate non-gay America to work for in comparison to gay organizations?
It's different because when you're making a difference in a community, selling a product is one thing, and trying to help promote that thing, it goes into somebody's pockets. But when you're raising money for a nonprofit, you're making a difference in the community. You're helping to support the people that much need it.
Yeah,
it is much different, but that taught me how to be good at where I'm at now in my life.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, and again, when it comes to community engagement, when it comes to philanthropy, when it comes to the dynamics of nonprofit organizations, that's what you freaking know. That is what, like, you eat, sleep, breathe, and poop.
Yeah.
Sorry about the poop part, but
Everybody poops.
everybody, it's true. Everybody does poop. Flockfest has come in and just become such a force to be reckoned with. How many years has it been in total that Flockfest has been with us?
So next year will be our 10-year anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. But I just have seen such a huge, like, just evolution in the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah,
you
definitely.
know? How many People's Choice Awards did you win from out South Florida?
We won 3. We won Best Nonprofit, we won Best Local Event, and what was the other one that we won?
I don't know, something that you beat Tony Lima and Sunserve over that he was
Best
upset about.
Nonprofit, Best Event, yeah. It was good.
That's a lot.
And it's not a competition. We were just very proud and honored because we had been nominated before, but this is the year that we actually won stuff. And I was very proud to see the community vote for us and recognize all the work that we do for all the nonprofits.
Well, it's honestly, Kevin, it's the work that you and your team have put in, okay? Because Flockfest, it's like when you feel, Flock, what the Flock or Flockfest or whatever, people now know the name. People now know the pool parties. People now know that you work with other nonprofits and organizations and you get them some cash. And people know that whatever you throw is going to be a good time, But I think, and you have even told me this yourself, that the reason why it all works is because of your crazy ass team.
Yeah.
Your team, your board, your team over at Flockfest. I know I'm going to forget some people, but I wanted to say, thank you to a couple of them. To Stephen Crawford, of course, Bud. I love you, Bud. Iman, John, Dan, Corey, Ryan is part of that crew. Latanya is on your board. I freaking love Latanya. I love you. I love them all. And I got to tell you that, the events that I've been so honored that you guys have hired me to host, they make working events easy. And it's hard for me to explain that to you, Kevin. I do a lot of freaking events. You know that, and some people are on top of their game. Some people are prepared. Some people make it easier for the host and some people don't, right? With Flockfest, I'm always supported. I am never alone. If I need anything, the day before, day of, day after, there's always someone there to just make sure that I'm taken care of. Yep. Security is on point. People checking in are on point. There are no loose ends. There's no back door where people get to slip in on, how do you stay on point with all of those things?
It all comes down to planning. This is where all of our expertise come into place. Me putting on events every week. I was a truck driver for 15 years. And,
Shut up.
And then each week I had to do multiple events in multiple locations with new talent. So it's all about planning and execution.
Did you have to sit on a pillow so you could look over the steering wheel?
Okay, now you sound like my mother.
But it's not easy. But it's not easy.
It wasn't easy. No, and we plan a lot of stuff. We have like all kinds of spreadsheets where we go into the warehouse, make sure that we pull all the right items. So, it's planning. And sometimes we fail. Sometimes we miss the mark on something. But, we also take the feedback. And what makes us better is by learning from mistakes that we've made. If somebody didn't feel a certain way, we want to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Okay. And that's so important. I mean, that's something that we learn in our sobriety, Kevin, is just... what is it? Doing the same thing over and over is insanity, right? We're told that, and expecting the same result is expecting a different result. Okay, so doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result equals insanity, right? And that's something that's just told in sobriety, and we have to learn from our mistakes, but we have to learn, and it's like if you did an event and things didn't go well, shit happens, right? This is life. But you keep it moving and you learn for the next time that you have an event and you don't make the same mistake. And I noticed that you guys are big on that. Yeah. So, I'd be remiss if we don't talk about, I have to talk about Pride Fort Lauderdale. Okay. So you were ED of Pride Fort Lauderdale. I mean, that's a big position to have. How long were you ED for Pride Fort Lauderdale?
So I was with Pride Fort Lauderdale starting back in 2016 when they were at the Holiday Park. And they decided to transition over from Holiday Park onto the beach and really showcase what Fort Lauderdale's about. And I was marketplace coordinator for several years. So I dealt with all the vendors, bringing people in. And then back in 2020, there was an opportunity for me to become executive director. And coming in at that time and, we were all shut down. We were supposed to have Pride of the Americas that year. And it was, we were less than a month away from launching that. And, everything got shut down. So coming in at a time where, wow, there's no revenue coming in. So it was, how do we create revenue? And so we started, I was like, let's sell flags. And it was definitely something I didn't expect. I thought, oh, we're just
What a
gonna sell
great
flags.
idea, though.
And I never pictured it. And so then we started selling flags at all these other Pride events. And these kids would come up and they got this opportunity that I never had, where their parents were buying them their first Pride.
Oh my God.
And so I have so many pictures of selling of a person or somebody who didn't feel where they knew their place in the world. I got to sell them their first Pride flag, their first Pride merch.
Oh my God.
I gave some away too,
Oh,
So,
I love that.
there was, we got to talk to people and I got to learn about what non-binary is. Like I knew the overall definition, but not really understanding what it was until I met somebody. It's like, well, why do you feel this way? And it was great to hear all of these. And there's so many terms. And like each week they're like, oh, have you heard about this new flag? And I'm like, what? But, we took it as an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
And to really broaden and make sure that our prides were not just what we wanted, it was what the community wanted. And that's what's important, is coming and hearing the feedback from the community. It's like, this is what we want.
Yeah.
We don't want this old performer. We want somebody that we're relatable to.
We want something new. We want something that we can relate to. And it's interesting about the flags, though, Kevin. Like, what a great idea, first of all, right? And I've got to tell you that, like, one of the first times that I ever saw a lesbian flag in person was in your kiosk, because I had never seen, I've seen the progressive flag. I've seen the rainbow flag, right? But I had never seen the lesbian flag. I had never seen the bear flag. I had never seen, just whatever you identify as, they have a flag for it.
And there's actually there's like 3 lesbian flags. There's the one with like the battle axe, which was, like when you go back and look at some of the history for these things, you learn it's like, well, this was kind of this neo-Nazi kind of formulation, and then you have the regular lesbian flag, then you have the lipstick lesbian flag, and then you have the lesbian sunset flag, which is the most beautiful.
Is it really? I've never even heard of that one. What's on it?
It is basically the lesbian flag with a few more added colors, and it was formulated because some of the original lesbian flag didn't have representation of the trans community. And a lot of our trans folk do identify as lesbians.
Of course.
So they wanted to make sure that they felt included by adding these new colors in. So it's beautiful.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so I know this is not going to be easy, but what was your high point as ED over at Pride Fort Lauderdale? If you could pinpoint one.
I mean, there were so many opportunities that were just really, truly amazing. And it's like, it set me up for the position that I'm in now. But yeah, like learning how to really market an event and, make sure that everyone felt included. We had several stages. We brought in the lesbian sunset stage, because here we are on the beach, lesbian sunset. We had new logos, we had Bear Pride, we had, Afro Pride. Everybody was included on a different stage. So everyone had representation. And that was probably one of my proudest moments, is to make sure that everyone felt welcome at our events.
And felt seen. And that is, and you do that so splendidly, Kevin. When did Pride Fort Lauderdale decide to move off the beach?
So last year, we were running into some financial issues. A lot of people were big sponsors were starting to pull back. And it's happening across the board, not just for us, but a lot of LGBT nonprofits are having this issue because of
was it because of anti-LGBTQ plus bills against us, the drag bans and stuff like that? Did you feel that kind of heat, you think?
Yeah. Look at the pushback that Target got. They've always had a Pride section for years, and nobody ever thought twice about it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, one person took off with it, and then all of these people started bashing them online.
Yeah,
and
it was bad.
It's really bad, and that continues to happen. So it is hard. So when we looked at the logistics of having it on the beach, I actually wanted the Oceanside Park, which is that new park where they have the cabana, they have the stages and everything, and I wanted to move there because the logistics of the beach is putting down all the ADA accessible platforms. It's expensive. And putting it on sand.
For folks with disabilities, on wheelchairs, etc.
To make sure everyone can access all of Pride, because if one person doesn't feel like, oh, you put all these booths out here and there's all this sand, but I don't have the ability to get to it, they're going to feel left out. So it was a huge expense. And then the parking lot itself, every one of those spaces cost us $30. Ouch. Yeah. And there's 480 spaces.
Ouch! Do the math.
Yeah. And then you have to start times it several days in a row.
Oh,
Because
hell no. Because
you
the
have
setup and all
the
that.
setup
And the
so-
breakdown.
the setup, the breakdown, and until you release it back to the city, you're charged all of that money. So there was a couple $100,000 just in that. So the financial stability of having it on the beach was just not really right. Moving it over to the Intracoastal Park made more sense. It made it more intimate. It made it accessible to everyone. It was
I liked it. I helped to host that year.
yeah.
Right? And it was right there across the street from that big parking lot thing.
Yes. So it had parking garage there. You know, it was right on. It had the water taxi was able to access it. The parade ended right at there, so it made a little bit more sense. I did love the beach. I mean, I loved it. I hated it too because it was walking in it for days. It was really hard.
It's hard on the old knees. But it looks beautiful.
It looks beautiful, and it really showcases the beach. But affordability wise, it just wasn't a sustainable model.
And so, okay, so then you move it inland a little.
Yeah.
Right?
It's still on the island, but it's just, you can see the beach from a distance.
Were you happy with how it turned out?
I was. Boy
Okay.
George was amazing.
Boy George was
Yeah.
incredible. Oh my God. Boy George was amazing. He
Yeah.
really was. And people were happy and people loved where it was at. People loved the intimate part of it. But soon after you left the
Soon after,
board,
yes.
you know? So what, I mean, you know, people have, rumors have gone everywhere about mismanagement on Mike's part. Mike was the head, the president of, right,
and
of
he's
Pride
still-
Fort Lauderdale, and he still is
He still
the
is.
president of Pride Fort Lauderdale. You had other people that were on the board that are no longer, like Kitty Meow and other people like that.
Yes.
Where did the breakdown start? Like, when did you decide that I can't be a part of this anymore?
So I actually resigned in December, but I stayed on until after Pride of the Americas because I wanted to make sure that all of our vendors in the event happen and took place, because there was relationships with sponsorships are very important to me.
And they were through you.
Yeah, they were
So
through me.
You didn't
So
want
I
to lose
wanted to make
that
sure-
relationship as well.
Correct, because if that didn't happen, then it would have fell back on my relationships with a lot of these communities. And so we started having some, you know, there was the financial issues, you know, like I was trying to sell as much as I could for sponsorships to help pay for the event, and it just wasn't enough. And the board president, Mike, just would make sure that he reminded every week that it was. And so I decided to leave. It was a hard decision because I love Pride. I loved going through and
Yeah.
representing, you know, we've gone to Dallas and Vegas, and
I've gone to Costa Rica with you for Pride.
yes, absolutely. We know the importance of Pride.
Well,
Prides are needed now more than ever.
More than ever.
Yeah.
More than ever. They're just ridiculously important.
Exactly, and people are feeling left out because they're not included. When you look at Orlando Pride, they have over 225,000 people that go to that Pride, and I probably would have been one of them because I lived in that area. I went to high school in Kissimmee, and you don't hear about Kissimmee Pride, or you don't hear about Brevard Pride. So people from all of the surrounding counties come to that Orlando Pride, which is a great way for people connecting with relationships. You feel more in touch with your community because you feel like you're a part of something. You're able to access medical providers that are specific to the, you know, the community. So if you need PrEP or HIV testing, all of that's available to them, and they come from all of those counties to find those resources.
So it's so important.
It's so
It
important.
really is so important.
Yeah.
So Pride Fort Lauderdale recently announced that they would not be having their Pride this year. You think that would have happened if you were still with them?
It all comes down to getting sponsors. And they've just got to take some time and rebuild some of their relationships within the community and show themselves to be a good organization. You know, they've been around. They're actually the oldest Pride organization in the state of Florida.
Oh, wow. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
They're older than anybody.
Wow, that had to be super hard for you, Kevin.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from, you know, your relationships and your friendships and
Yeah.
stuff like that, I know how important prides are to you. Like, again, I've walked with you in a handful of prides. I know how, you know, that's when we all feel seen, and you
Yeah.
literally live your life for people to fucking be seen. That's just you, you know? So I could just imagine how difficult that decision was to have to step down.
It was definitely a difficult decision, and you know, it just needs to rebrand itself. You know,
Are you still cool with Mike?
yeah. He actually wished me happy birthday a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's sweet of him. That's sweet of him. And listen, and again, whatever you have picked up all these incredible traits from all your past workings, you know, and that is my own personal opinion why you're so successful
Yeah.
with Flockfest. I think that when you got this opportunity, you hit the ground running. Oh, I already know what to do.
Yeah.
Let's go. You know what I mean? Okay, so what does Flockfest have in store for 2024? Let's talk events. Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk events. So again, follow Flockfest on all social media outlets. I'm going to give you all the handles at the end of our interview, but there's always something going on. They're always helping with some organization all throughout the week. If you're one of those people that are like, there's nothing to do this week, that's such bullshit. Because literally, if you follow Flockfest events, you'll have a billion things to do every week. All right, so let's talk about the Flockfest Splash Pool Party that's actually this week.
No. Oh, that's true. It's coming up this week.
It's coming at the end of this week. So
February
18th. It's February 18th. DJ Ed Talks from Hunters and special dance performance by the Royal Peacock. A dance crew that I saw them a couple of weeks ago at my Hollywood Pride, and they were incredible.
They got that big peacock energy. That's their hashtag.
That is their hashtag, right? But I thought you came up with that, but I love that. All right, so this is, okay, so we're back. We're still having pool parties this year.
Oh, yeah.
Full force. February 18th, you still be kind of like off the high of Valentine's Day if you're into that. Or we could just do Galentine's Day, which is everybody in the pool in your trunks.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it's a great, we also have so many people that come to our pool parties. I mean, we're truly blessed. It is the largest pool party in South Florida for the LGBTQ plus community. And, if you're looking for love, we have a little bit of everything. It is a body positive event. You see people of all shapes, sizes, and walks of life. And it's a great opportunity to go and just get in the pool, have a couple drinks, and mix and mingle.
Oh, I love it. And there's always a performance, and every DJ that you guys pick, is always incredible. Of course, I mean, Ed is just dope because, you've been to Hunters. Hunters is just phenomenal, but you always have great DJs.
Yeah, and don't get me started on that Irish accent. I love Lucky Charms.
I love me some Lucky Charms. Okay. Make sure you get your tickets for that. All right. Okay. Next, it's Rock the Block by Harmony Waves featuring David Archuleta. He's so damn cute.
He is super cute.
He is so cute. And that's on Saturday, February 17th. That's also this week coming up.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So it's Rock the Block. This is its first year out. And they're going to be shutting down Wilton Drive, part of Wilton Drive. Right there by Hunters, between the section where I think it's 6th Street and right there almost to where the Tulio's is. So there's plenty of bars, plenty of stages. It's going to be a great time.
And David Archuleta is just so super cute. Gay, adorable, talented.
Mormon. Hello. He's a Mormon.
Still?
Well, he actually went against his church. The church wasn't very accepting of him coming out. So he had issues with that. And now he's kind of, doing his own thing. And I'm very proud of him.
Oh, my God. Love that. Make sure that you look for some articles because John Hayden spoke with him also. And Hotspots did an interview with David Archuleta, all talking about this before Rock the Block. So that's going to be amazing. And we have to talk about the celebrity lip sync battle to benefit Florida AIDS Walk at Hunter's Nightclub on Wednesday, February 21st. That is next week. I've been to the lip sync battle the last couple of years in a row, and great talent, great community leaders that you tap.
Yeah.
Do you tap everybody or do you go, somebody wants to see this person up on stage?
It's a little bit of everything. So one of the proudest things about the celebrity lip sync battle is, not all of our community, our community is so diverse and it has so much talent, but we provide a platform for them to come up and showcase their talent. People that have never had that opportunity to go on stage before. And I'm so impressed. Pup Aspen has got up there and done just the most amazing performances, things I've never seen him do before. And he comes out and he does a very androgynous look. He's done full drag. He came out with a handkerchief skirt one time, and that was the comments that we were getting back was, thank you for providing this opportunity to let us perform. And it's great.
And you're right. You had a little bit of everything. There was Drag Kings. There was Jonathan Casañas naked. There was Auntie Mame. There was Daisy Dead Pedals. There was Elimination Onyx. A bunch of Terry Dye. Everybody was up on that stage the last couple of years.
Tiffany Fantasia, Sasha.
Oh my God, that was the finale. Remember that shit? That was crazy. There's a video somewhere.
Yeah.
Shasta was also in there. Oh my God. Okay, get your tickets. You want to be there Wednesday at Hunters because it is going to be a lot of fun. Oh, and you get your camera, get your phone ready because there's a lot to record that day. Trust.
And
all
we're
right.
partying with a purpose. You know, that is our hashtag. And you come out, get your dollars, and then just tip these people because every dollar that they donate is matched dollar for dollar by AHF Pharmacy and AHF.
God, AHF, thank you again for everything that you do, all you do. You guys are just incredible.
Yeah.
I got to talk about Tropical Bear Week too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the 21st is it the 21st annual? No.
No. Well, it's...
No.
It started as Bears in the Alley.
It started as Bears in the Alley a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Right behind Eagle.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
and
that's
it's definitely
so cool.
evolved. You know, it's showcasing all of Fort Lauderdale. They have 3 pool parties. They have the Jungle Queen, which people make fun of the Jungle Queen, and
They have great ribs.
Yes, it's all you can eat chicken, ribs, and shrimp, and people don't understand that the Jungle Queen has been here for a very long time, and it showcases, again, the Florida, the places that you never get to see.
Yes.
You get to see these multi-million-dollar houses, and they tell you that, well, they bought this $10 million house to tear down and build a $20 million house. And
is that on the New River or something that it goes?
It's along
Yes.
We are the Venice of America, and you don't get to see those opportunities unless you're
a millionaire.
Or on a boat.
Yeah.
And so that is really a great time. They have their own little private island with lots of animals, you know, the monkeys, the parrots.
Oh
and,
my God.
It's a really fun
That
time.
is so cool. So Tropical Bear Week is March 5th through 10th. And where can people get tickets for that?
You can go to theeagle.com and you can find them there. And I think it's lauderdalebearweek.com. I'm not quite sure on that one, but they have so many events. They have the 3 pool parties. We're actually putting one of them on the Tropical Bear Splash. It's going to be at the Easton. They also have the Richardson Park event. So it's going to be a busy weekend because you have the Florida AIDS Walk that weekend too.
Yes, that's going to be a very busy week, but we're going to have a fabulous tan, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
All right. Or I might have like a sunburn from my harness. That's probably what's going to happen.
Oh, I have seen you in a harness.
Yes, you have. Why you looked at me all weird for a second? You just gave me that side eye. I think Kevin saw me topless with a harness. Things happen. Things happen in Costa Rica. We don't have to talk about it. Okay, and the most important that I wanted to talk about was the 9th annual Flockfest Beach Party featuring DJ Deanne on Saturday, July 6th.
She has been at the top of my list of DJs to get. She is the best of the best.
Oh my God, I've seen her. She is incredible.
She is truly amazing. And this is the first female on DJ on the beach party.
Yay!
So the team that we have in place for Flockfest really has let me be the deciding factor of all of our talent and entertainment to make sure that we.
That's a huge trust, Kevin.
It's a huge trust, and like when I would. Pitch is like, well, this person costs this much. And I'm like, but this person is representing a whole different demographic. And we want them to bring their demographic to our events to make sure that everyone feels welcome.
Was that how you sold me for last year?
Yeah. I needed a loud Latino. And you, thankfully, I remember you yelling at people in Spanish to get off the beach.
Oh my God! It was hysterical. No, so it's hysterical. So again, I love Kevin. I'll do anything for Kevin and the Flockfest boys. I really adore them. Anyway, so when they asked me to be part of Flockfest, I was super excited. And like I said before, I was also kind of like trepidatious because I was just like, oh, there's not going to be any girls there. There's going to be no inclusivity, blah, blah, blah. I get there and that's so farther from the truth, right? And I've gotten so much great feedback from after last year's Flockfest beach party from people just like, you were the one hosting Flockfest. It was so great to see you, blah, 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 blah. And it's just such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful event. And the cabanas are awesome. They also have a cabana contest, right?
Yeah.
And people go all out.
Oh my God, they really went out.
All out. But the point I was trying to get to was that it rained, right?
Yeah.
And so then thank you so much to Fort Lauderdale Police. I mean, all those people were just so incredible. The lifeguards. So they're like, listen, you need to tell everybody to get out of the water because there's some thunder coming, some lightning. We just want to make sure that everybody's safe.
Yeah.
So I tell everybody in English, please get out of the water. We're gonna still party in here. Get in. Blah blah blah. And then Kevin comes over and he says, hey, you have to say it in Spanish too. And I was like, okay, tiburón, shark, get out the water, sal del agua. Everybody got out real quick. I mean, it was quick. It was easy.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that that was the first time that had ever happened that we had to evacuate the beach. And, when you are pulled with, the lifeguards are coming to you and they're like, you need to evacuate, and having to be event organizers that we planned that for a year. I mean, we've been planning this since the last one, and to have to tell people you have to leave, it's heartbreaking. It's one of those hard decisions. It's like, but when the safety of the community comes first, people are like, well, they're cabanas. Why can't we just stay underneath that? I was like, well, it's lightning.
Yeah.
The rain is fine. It's the lightning. And it was people, we wanted to make sure that they were safe. And we were surprised that 90% of all the people came back.
That's what I was going to say too. That I was like, are you sure, Kevin? We really have to tell them that we have to stop the party now? Because we had to turn off the music. Like you have to abide by certain rules. Yeah. And I was heartbroken. But like you said, most of those people came back. I was like, they're not going to come back. It's only an hour left of the party. Nope. Yeah. Everybody came back and we partied, and then we had to throw them out because then it was actually time to actually finish.
Yeah. And we all, we wanted to make sure that everyone was safe. And, also with the lifeguards, we are stewards of that beach, and we want to make sure that, we're able to be invited back. And if you don't follow the rules set by the lifeguards, they're there for our safety, then they can deny us our permit the next year.
No, yeah, we wouldn't want that.
We want to make sure that we're always in compliance. All the city, the city of Fort Lauderdale has been amazing to work with. We know all of the people that we work with in every one of the departments by name. They come up, they give us guides.
No, and you can tell, again, as a brown Latina, when a cop comes up to me, I'm sorry, I get triggered, and I'm usually afraid, right? But they came up in such a way, like, excuse me, listen, I'm so sorry, we have to do this. It was not in a stern way. Yeah. And like, you can just tell that they were allies, or I made them allies in my mind because they were just so considerate. You know what I mean? Like, they could have been like, cops sometimes are, close it down. Yeah. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And there was none of that. There was just like, it was like they were part of the event.
They were.
You get me?
They want our success.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just again, that was just a wonderful thing. Yeah. Again, like I said before, you guys work with everybody. You're working with SunServe more this year as well. You're working with Myth more this year. You have like kind of like a give back or something. What's going on with Myth?
So Myth is they just had their grand opening last.
Yes, and it was awesome. I love you, Javier and Carlos Dealer. I love you guys. Yes. Aren't they hot?
Oh my God, so hot. It's hard to have meetings with them because I just keep having to wipe my drool off. They're the nicest guys.
The nicest. So, right, I interviewed them right at the beginning of the year. And like, I always try to watch the interviews back to critique of how bad I am. And with them, I watched it, and then I watched it again on mute because they're so damn hot. I didn't want to hear me anymore. Yeah. I just wanted to see their beautiful bodies.
They are, and they reached out to us because we started doing the Give Back Tuesdays where we would come in, we would promote an off night for them because it's easy. A lot of businesses have built-in business each night, and we came to them and said, "What night do you need help with?" Because we want to promote you, we want to help build that night up for you to bring business back to the drive. Because everybody supports us. Last year, they actually did the sponsor tent. They provided all the food for us. So this was our way of giving back to them. Same thing with Hunters has been a great partner of ours.
Mark, we love you. Well, Mark Hunter always has Hunters always have a cabana, or they sponsor your VIP area for the pool parties as well, right? Yes. So huge commitment from Mark Hunter and Hunters to Flockfest and you boys.
And we're about giving back to them as well. Like the celebrity lip sync battle, they're giving us the space, but we're bringing them patrons that come and buy drinks from them. When we do Flock the Block during the beach party week, that's having this concert out in the thing where they generate the revenue for them to help give them a return on their investment.
Oh, I love that. I love that. God, man, you really are involved. Yeah. Shit, you busy. Why is it like when I call you to go...
booked.
Hashtag booked. I'll be like, hey, Kevin, what are you doing? Are you out? Can you meet me? No, I'm busy. I've got this, and this. I'm like, you know what? I have a finger for you. Guess which one it is? The one in the middle. So I got to congratulate you on 10 years of sobriety, boo.
Yeah, it's a very proud accomplishment of mine.
Let me see I asked you to bring your medallion because I wanted to see it.
Well, I have two.
Okay.
There is my 10-year medallion, the rainbow medallion.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous. You see that?
Yeah.
Oops, do you see that? Oops, do you see that? Oops, do you see that?
Yeah.
Oops, do you see that? Oops, do you see that?
And the other one is from Chief Schultz.
Oh, and that's from Bill Schultz.
Yes.
That is beautiful. I love how you kept those two together.
Yeah. I also have someone's 8-year coin.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
Faye gave me your coin last year, and I keep it on my desk as a reminder is that we are a community.
We are a community.
Yeah, and we're here to support each other. And we've had many talks offline about our sobriety and our struggles and our challenges, because just because you're over an addiction doesn't mean that you don't have a lot of the emotional, things that come along with it.
And the triggers and the baggage and all of that, there are, and I wanted Kevin to bring in his medallion, and I brought in mine because I wanted you folks to see that it is possible.
Yeah.
Right. The reality is that me and Kevin, when we both first got sober, a lot of the people that we got sober with are no longer here with us anymore, or they're back out, or they're in jail. Okay. Yeah. And that's just kind of what happens in our community. Drugs and alcohol are prevalent. It's just part of everything that we do, but you can still have a fun, fulfilled life without drugs and alcohol. Me and Kevin are at a million events with water, Diet Coke, whatever it is. And there's something about being able to have a community within our community. Like, you, me, Alex Furbear, Shasta McNasty. There's a bunch of people in our community that are in sobriety and are open about it. And I don't say the names like that because we're, unfortunately in 12-step programs, it's all, you've got to stay anonymous. You can't say your name. But for Kevin and I, we stay sober out loud for people that can't, for people who can't come out and tell their stories.
Exactly.
Right. And so, it's so important. So congratulations, man, because and I gave you my 8-year, I don't do that lightly either. This is my freaking 8-year medallion. I can't even remember what the hell you and I were both going through that week, but it was like, I need to give you this, and, they tell us in sobriety, like if you're going through something, stick this in your mouth. Okay. Stick this in your mouth before you go get, an alcohol or a drug.
I don't know what that's been. I'm not putting that in my mouth.
I put this in my butt only once.
Okay. But it's also, last year was it was a very emotional year for me, for one, leaving Pride, but when, Jana, we love Jana.
Jana Jaffe, love you, Broward House.
So, last year,
Dining Out for Life.
Yeah, Dining Out for Life was the night of the flood, and I was impacted by the flood, and so was Broward House, really, really bad. And a lot of people don't talk about rehab, and I do. It's one of those stigmatized things, and I don't understand it because it did help me relearn. It wasn't brainwashing. I kind of needed it because my brain was filthy.
You needed to be rewired.
Yeah, and then they taught me how to hate something that I loved. And I was a meth addict, and I was a meth addict for 17 years. And so we were going to do a fundraiser for me to help rebuild my house. And all right, I can't get emotional.
You can get emotional.
So it was, Jana approached me and she's like, Kevin, can you help us? And I was like, well, let me just do the fundraiser that was going to be for me, for her. And we did the celebrity lip sync battle. And out of that, we were able to raise, the money was matched by the Warden Foundation. And so we had given them a check for $12,000. Somebody came up after the event and said, hey, I didn't know things were that bad, because we really showcased on the screens the devastation. That
you really showed it.
And, somebody reached out and gave them another $3,000. So we raised $30,000 to help rebuild a recovery center that helped get my life in order.
Wow, that full circle, right?
And service keeps you sober, and that was my way of giving back.
And and it's like that. I always say that friends who do service together, and again, in sobriety, and I don't want. I know it's like some of you are like, right, but this is how we stayed sober, and I know that there's plenty of people out there that would like to do the same. The reality is that if you're helping others, you can't be all stuck on yourself. And that's what we are as addicts and alcoholics. We're so full of ourselves. We can only think about us and our addiction at times, and once we get past that, we get to help others in the process. We're also helping ourselves.
And helping others is my high. I enjoy helping others, and that's what makes me high. That's where I get that good feeling that I was, that the chemicals were giving me. I get this new high because I'm making a difference in our community.
Yes, and he gets giddy. Yeah. Like when he gives people money, he gets giddy. Like you can see him, like he's so excited, And I got to go back to the floods, because those floods of 2023 were awful. Kevin lost everything.
Yeah.
Okay, there's videos online of the devastation, and he said, no, we're not going to do this fundraiser. And I remember people from the community, Scott Holland over at Hotspots, people like that were saying, okay, we need to put something together for Kevin, for his home, and then, no, I'm okay. I will figure out my home. I'm like, bitch, are you going to move? I don't know. I'll redo it. And I'm like, but you turned that around and then helped Broward House. And you're an incredible human being, and I'm not going to cry. I'm not gonna cry. You know, we lose too many people to addiction, and you
Yeah.
and me are people are, you know, and again, and it's not that we're over the hump. That's the reality. There are plenty of times that I call Kevin and I'm like, this triggered me. And he's like, bitch, really? And I'm like, yeah, okay, remember this, this, and this, you know, and that is how we have to live our lives, unfortunately.
Yeah. Healthy boundaries is probably one of the number one things that I brought out of my sobriety, out of going through rehab, was trying to make sure that I tell people what I'm comfortable with and what I'm not comfortable with.
Boundaries.
And I am not a person that likes confrontation, but I've learned if I don't set those boundaries for myself, that I'm setting myself up to fail.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been it's been hard. You know,
a journey.
Yeah, it's been a journey. You know, I still dream about using, and it's the weirdest thing, and it will just come out of nowhere, and then I'll wake up and I feel like I've relapsed. I was like, well, it's good, but I'm recognizing when I wake up that what I was doing in my dream was wrong.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and we're surrounded by people drinking and, you know, doing whatever they have to do all the time, right? And, you know, some people get sloppy, right? You have an open bar, people get sloppy. And sometimes that even helps me, Kevin. Like, be like, okay, that's why I don't drink, right?
That's a hot mess right there.
That's a hot mess
Was
right
that me?
there.
Did I do that?
That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about your pups. I want to talk about your
Okay.
pups. Please bring your picture over.
My pups.
Oh my God, they're so cute. All right, tell us their names.
Okay, so I have a Frenchie that is Beef. Because he's thick. He's just a thick dog. He's a rescue. He was with a family, you know, he's a purebred, but, you know, he was with a family where he didn't get along with the other Frenchies. And I was like, you know, he had a cherry eye. And I'm like, all right, well, let me just watch him. I'll foster him for a couple of days until we find another home, because I already had the other two. And oh my God, I fell in love with this dog so quick. And
He's the one that you send me most of your pictures with, is Beef. Like always. He's always snuggled up with Beef, always topless.
Yeah.
Beef too.
Oh, yeah. And then I have my brother and sister, Ralphie and Dory. They're two Boston Terriers. I got them from Animal Aid over on Prospect Boulevard, because, you know, it's easy to buy a dog. And I wanted to rescue dogs because I wanted to make sure that, you know, everyone felt love.
Yes.
And I had such a hard problem. I was struggling. I was filling out paperwork, and, you know, I was trying to, like, they would put a dog up online. I'd sit there and send my paperwork in, and it's pages and pages and pages. And then like a week later, they're like, no, the dog's not available. And I was so discouraged. And I had put up a post. It's like, you know, I'm trying to do the right thing by adopting a dog, and I'm just frustrated, and I feel like I've just been beaten up. And Skip Vandeline reached out to me, and he said, these two dogs, Ralphie and Dory, brothers and sister, are at Animal Aid. They've not been put on the market yet, you know, to be showcased. Do you want to come look at them? And I'm like, yes. So I took Dory home. She's the girl. She was great. They wouldn't show me Ralphie because his dad had mauled the entire side of his neck. And so,
oh my God.
yeah. So we took Dory home, and great little dog. And then they called us the next day and said, listen, you know, we've got Ralphie. He's not responding. He's not coming around.
He needs a sister.
And so we went there. I looked at him. He wouldn't come near us. He just stayed in the corner. And I'm like, all right, let me just try to take him home. And I took him home. He walked in the door, saw his sister, and he was like, hey, what's going on?
Oh my God. Oh, that's the best story ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Our dogs help us through shit. Oh, my God. You know, floods. Going back to Kevin's floods, right? So Kevin has 3 dogs, and he had to walk out of the house through a window carrying dogs over his head. That's how much water had gone into his house, where his doors were no longer functioning. So he had to climb through the window with 3 pups.
Yeah, I carried 2. I carried Ralphie and Dory. You know, the water was up to my chest.
Oh my God.
We left everything in the house. My Gabo had taken Beef with him, but we just left with a backpack with a thing full of meds, because we didn't know when we would come back, what we would come back to. And, you know, the house stayed flooded for 3 days. So, you know, wasn't able to access anything. And, you know, just having them, you know, they were my life.
Yeah.
I was like, screw the house. Everything in it can be replaced.
But my babies can't.
They can't.
No. I'm telling you. It's like, you know, when people say who rescued who, right?
Yeah.
Like, you do the initial part of it, but they do all the rest.
I sleep in their bed. They don't sleep in my bed. They take over.
Okay. Yeah. If my 2 dogs are on this side, I might have to start wearing a diaper to bed, because I can't get up to go to the bathroom, because then you mess up the whole chi. You know what I mean? Of the bed. So.
And Beef sleeps right here. Or he'll come up around, like, I like to sleep on my side. He'll come up behind me and stick his head right here and just start.
Oh my God.
He snores so loud.
Oh, no, but it's like white noise, that snore. No?
But I know that at that moment that I feel loved and I feel connected to him and I'm able to sleep better.
Yeah, and there's something about that warmth that you feel, or that weight that you feel of your dog, right?
Yeah.
It's that connection between you and your pet. There's nothing like it, all right?
Yeah.
So if you don't have a pet, go adopt one today,
Yeah.
okay? And you could be just as big animal lovers as me and Kevin are, all right? Is this your dream job?
Yeah.
This is what you love to do. This
I
makes
love
you
helping the
happy.
community. Yeah, and it's great because I have so many friends that are in nonprofits and they call us up and ask for advice. And I'm pretty well rounded when it comes to events and social media, and like I just started learning how to do graphic design. I just basically I knew what I liked. And I started putting it together, and the apps today are just so helpful. Like my friend Roger Roa, who was over at the Pride Center, we used to compete against each other in the Florida AIDS Walk. We'd always see who could come up with the most money. He's now at the Boys and Girls Club, and he reached out to me and was like, Kevin, I need help fundraising. And so I'm going to be helping him with fundraising.
And that's another great organization.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not an LGBTQ plus organization, but there's probably LGBTQ plus people there. So
And what was
why not?
What was surprising is, one, I love the Boys and Girls Club. Anytime there's an opportunity to mentor some of our youth, it's so important. And he told me, he goes, our biggest challenge right now is that for every 2 females, I only get 1 male. And he goes, we need so many males to come up and step up and help mentor some of these kids.
And you could find those males.
Yep.
They'll be fabulous, some flamboyant, some successful, some deadly gorgeous, but you've got a bunch.
We know so many people.
Right?
And,
That's a great idea.
Using the resources that we have and being connected to our community, I know that you can reach out to me anytime, like, Kevin, I need this, and I can find it, and if not,
You'll find me somebody to find
exactly.
it. You have, yeah.
And that's the great thing about our community, is that we really come together, we work together, and we all support each other. To make sure that we have the best community.
We really do.
Yeah.
We really do. And because of people like you, Kevin. So thank you so much for all you do. Thank you for being on the FayWhat show. Was it hard being in bed with me?
No.
Were you worried at all?
Maybe.
Okay.
But you let me be on top, so I'm okay.
Only this month. Only this time. It's hard being a power bottom sometimes.
Yes,
when
it
you're
is.
laying on pink.
Yeah.
Look into that camera and say, FayWhat!
FayWhat?
You usually do it better.
Okay,
Do it again.
FayWhat? Oh.
Make sure that you follow Flockfest on all social media outlets, okay? That is flockfestevents.org. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/flockfestftl, and also facebook.com/splashpoolpartyfl. On Instagram, also at Flockfest Events, Twitter, and all the rest, Flockfest FTL.
But not Pornhub.
But not Pornhub.
Maybe X Hamster.
Ooh,
That's good.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin, for being on the FayWhat show, honey. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Thank you for taking the time.
It's been amazing to work with these years. And
Oh, and
we're not done.
And we're not done. The best is yet to come. Also follow Kevin Clevenger. He's on all social media outlets as well. All right?
Yeah.
That is how we do. That is how we bring up our community. All right?
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Flock on.
Flock on, mother.
With my
flockers.
flajamas.
I love your flajamas.
Yeah.
I love them.
Flamingo jamas.
What?
Flajamas.
Flagellants.
Not flatulence.
Oh.
We got to be under the covers for that.
Thank you, Kevin Clevenger. We will be right back.